Okay, today we're going to look at some of the tools we use that are kind of specific to ceramics. Okay, first one is just a roller. You have rolling pins here. I like to use just what's called a dowel, so just a round piece of wood to roll stuff out. Okay, also you can make circles in it or whatever. You gotta sort of be creative when you're looking at your ceramic tools and seeing what else beside what's obvious that you can use them for. This is called a fettling knife. It's not sharp, okay, and it's really flexible. These fettling knives are used to cut out pieces of clay to shape. It's called a fettling knife, because when you mold clay and you take stuff out of the mold, the seam where the mold was, the fettling knife is used to clean up that area. So I guess those seams are called fettle, and these are called fettling knives. Okay? You can look at that over here. You have these things called ribs, which are just flat pieces. A rib can be stainless steel. This also comes in a serrated version. I don't think I have one here. I hardly use those. But these are used to mostly smooth out clay. Okay, I use these on the wheel more, and I have special ones for the wheel. And these are also used to make corners, or mostly used to, for you guys, mostly used to smooth out. Though you can use it to do texture and stuff like that. So these are called ribs. Okay. These are your needle tools for obvious reasons. Needle tools done to poke holes, but they're also used to create texture. Okay, you're going to have to use these to what we call slip and score. So to score the clay, rough it up, you need to use these needle tools. These are pretty common, and you're going to probably use these a lot. These are paddles. Okay, you can see this. This is just a rice scooper. We use this to actually create texture. So you see this little piece of clay. I paddled it like this. I created flat surfaces, but can you see the texture that's on it also? Okay. So usually this is used to create texture. Put that away. Okay, but your wooden paddles, I use it to smooth out stuff, just like the rib. So instead of the rib smoothing it out that way, I use a paddle to paddle things flat. Okay? You paddle it flat, and also when you have round objects like this, you can use it to create these flat surfaces. The flat surfaces are called facets, okay? Because you're creating a flat surface on a round object. So when this was still wet, when it was round, I got the paddle and I just went around it and I created all the flat surfaces here. Okay, so that's another thing paddles can be used for. And then bigger paddles, right, for bigger pieces. Okay. This is mine and mine. Okay, you get sculpture tools over here. These are called wire sculpture tools. Remember, in sculpture, part of sculpture is subtraction. So you use these to take away, scrape away the clay. All right, you have a rounded one, you have a more straight one, and you have smaller ones with different types of wire heads on them. Okay, but that's what this is for, to kind of scrape away the clay, to remove clay. All right, these are sculpture tools. You also have wooden sculpture tools. Wooden sculpture tools are mostly used to smooth stuff out. So you're going to smooth it out, or in a corner of something, you're going to use this to smooth the clay out. But like things like this, you can also use it to create patterns or some kind of texture also. These also come in these things here. These are mostly for wheel throwing though you might use them to cut out, again, pieces of clay, or maybe smooth it out using this side. You can smooth your clay out. So, but these are wooden tools. Okay. Then lastly, you got what's called a wire tool. Actually, it's a clay cutting tool. It's used with wire. So clay, when it comes on a big piece, we use the wire to cut through it, okay? It's just the easiest way to do it. Instead of using like your fettling knife, right? We just wrap the wire around it and pull the wire through it and use this to cut the clay. Your version is going to be a nylon wire. It's not going to be wire like this. It's actually going to be string. That's because you guys don't take care of your stuff, and this piece tends to break when you guys use it, okay? So that's actually mine. Other than that, I wanted to show you just one more thing, and that's basically anything can be used to work with clay. I use a fork sometimes to get pattern in it, create texture, whatever. So clay artists, actually our favorite place used to be to go to Goodwill and just look for stuff that'll create patterns or help us work with the clay or do something different with the clay. I have some other stuff like a cheese cutter and a couple other kitchen utensils that you can use to make your clay life a little bit better. But this just goes to show that you can pretty much use anything, okay? It's just really up to your imagination. Okay, so your clay tools, okay, some kind of roller, right, to flatten the clay. You have your fettling knife. You have ribs. You have your needle tool. You have paddles. You have your wire sculpture tools. You have your wire cutting tool. And if you can think of something to do with a fork, then a fork can become your clay tool also, okay? So your week 3 assignment, give me 5 of your clay tools, okay? And kind of give me a brief description of what they are, all right? All right, we'll see you later.